It was a typical hot summer in Texas. I was 5 years old, and like the many times before, my family decided to drive to Abilene after my incessant begging. I couldn't wait to see my grandma, my Nana. We did everything together. All I ever wanted was to stay at her house weekend after weekend. As our car turned onto her street, I could hardly contain my excitement. My parents could barely get the car in park before I was busting through Nana's front door. I was beyond thrilled to discover that she had arranged one of my favorite activities, baking cookies. These were not your typical store-bought cookies. We made them from scratch using a crumpled recipe card that had belonged to my Nana's grandmother. My sisters and I took our places in the tiny kitchen, and she followed close behind us. I remember squeezing around the kitchen table and listening to Nana's detailed steps on how to properly decorate the treats. She was so talented at decorating cookies and cakes. We watched in awe as her strong hands worked magic, turning a plain cookie into Barbie dolls, butterflies, or anything else our young minds could imagine. I wondered how she always seemed to know everything. I wanted to be just like her. We carefully placed each cookie on the baking sheets and let her place them in the oven. The cookies swelled, rising and spreading until they turned golden brown. The aroma was intoxicating as the cookies came out of the oven. They were perfect, and so was that moment. About 10 years later, I was 15 years old and had just finished my freshman year of high school. This particular day started with the celebration of my little sister Kate, who was graduating from elementary school. My mom, my sister Aiden, and I arrived at Kate's school and started to walk in to meet my dad, my brother Alec, and my grandpa, who were saving our seats. My mom had said that my grandma Nana was on her way as well, so it didn't surprise me when I turned my head to see her car pull up beside us. As she rolled down the window, I instantly noticed the tears running down her face. My mom asked her what was wrong, and Nana replied, "I just came to tell you that I can't do this. I can't come today." Mom acted as if this sort of behavior was normal, and calmly said, "Out of all days, please don't do this now. This day is for Kate. Please don't ruin this for her." Nana repeated that she couldn't go inside. Mom answered, "Today, really, I'm not doing this right now." Nana drove off and left me and Aiden more confused than we had ever been. Why was my mom, who was always compassionate, acting this way with her own mother? I would soon find out that Nana's behavior was not new to my mom, and that things were a lot different than I had realized. My mom led us into the building, and I could tell there was a heavy emotion hiding behind her brave face. After attending the graduation and going out to eat, I found myself sitting on my bed at home. I was listening to music when I heard a loud crashing sound from outside my door. My mom suddenly ran into my room and yelled at me, "Close your blinds, lock this door, and don't come out." I asked her what was happening. She didn't respond and left my room in a hurry. I was still closing my blinds when she ran back into my room. "Come with me now." I followed my mom to her closet where I found Alec and Aiden. Mom closed the door behind us before realizing there was no lock on the door. She scrambled around the closet before finding an iPhone charger cord, which she used to tie the door shut. She finally turned around and told us what was happening. Nana is banging at our front door with a gun, threatening to hurt herself. Sitting in the closet, waiting for the police to arrive, felt like an eternity. We would later discover that before Nana tried to break into our house, she had attempted to hurt my grandpa and kidnap my littlest sister. One of the most haunting memories from that day was something I saw while the police were arresting Nana at my house. The officers told us it was safe to leave the closet, so I walked over to a window that viewed our front door, where Nana was sitting on a bench. I will never forget what I saw. I didn't see my grandma. I saw a woman sitting on my front porch, crying and broken. I couldn't believe that this was the same person that had been my best friend my entire life. The person that taught me how to sew, how to bake, and called me her miracle baby. I will never forget that image of her, but I wished I could. This could not be my Nana. It just couldn't, but it was. Nana was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and borderline personality disorder, among other mental illnesses. I had to learn of this diagnosis the hard way. In a matter of hours, my entire life changed. The powerful imagery from that day overshadowed years of memories with Nana. At barely 15 years old, I didn't understand the purpose of my former precious memories. For about a year after she was diagnosed, I let the weight of the situation affect me in a negative way. I felt lost, because not only was Nana taken from me, but my memories with her were gone as well. Remembering the time I spent with Nana left me with nothing but regret and anger. I was haunted by the love and happiness that she brought me as a kid. I was frustrated that I couldn't experience these memories again, and ashamed that I didn't appreciate them while I had the chance. I couldn't make myself forget her, but I didn't understand how to prevent these memories from stealing the joy from my everyday life. During this time, I assumed my friends couldn't understand what I was going through, so I drew away from them and was no longer the outgoing person I was before that summer. I held this entire experience a secret because I felt that if I shared it, others would think badly of Nana. Despite the pain she brought into my life, I still love her and felt the need to protect her. As I sit here today, it has been almost 3 years since I lost Nana. Even though the law has prevented me from talking to or reaching out to her, my perspective of my relationship with her has changed drastically. During my sophomore year, I was angry and confused because my once secure and sheltered life was completely shattered. However, as time passed, I finally found peace in understanding more about mental illness. I can't help but believe that the woman holding a gun that day was not the same person I remember baking cookies with. I've begun to accept the fact that her lack of motivation to treat her illness showed that she had given up on being a part of my future. While this is not easy, I've found that trying to find something or someone else to blame for her actions that day does not allow closure. With this in mind, I feel as though my idea of memories has changed with time, and I have begun to realize the importance of preserving them. I spent almost 2 years hiding this experience from everyone because I felt as though if everyone knew, I would no longer be normal. However, I found that I wasted that time not being myself. My experiences, both good and bad, have made me who I am today. I realize that there's no time to regret the past or think about what I could have done to prevent what happened with Nana. The fact is, I was given 15 perfect years with her, and that's more than I could ever need. Thank you.